Good afternoon and welcome back to Plannercraft. So this afternoon we're going to be making a card design. So we're going to start off with a new project so that we have a nice blank page to start with. So don't forget to say hello to Ian. My phone's now died so I can't see comments, but I'm sure Ian will help out where he can. So, new project. And we'll call it card design because I'm unoriginal today. So let me know when you've all got a new map to start with. And I'm going to recommend that you turn on your print margins. And I'll leave registration marks on too, see if they decide that they're going to wake up at some point. You never know. If you're not feeling up to creating along, it's perfectly okay to watch this time round and then practice later. All the videos will be staying up, and if you need help, we're only too happy to help, aren't we?
Oh yeah. It says I'm good to go. Deb says done. Got a thumbs up off somebody. I think it was off Julie.
Okay.
It was, yes.
So when ready, we can go to File, Import, and I'm going to go to my downloads because chances are your folder's still in your downloads folder. And we're going to go to Design Bundles Olives. And you're going to see it's going to open up with 3 folders and a border PNG. So next we're going to go to, should we do frame or reef?
Do a frame, did the yesterday.
Yeah, we'll go for frame. Let's go for number 1. Go for a nice circle.
So that's just a reef.
But it's not quite, because if the reef's got a decorative inside edge, whereas that's just a circle. Okay.
Hang on, finding file. Okay.
That's okay, so it'll be in your downloads folder, so wherever your downloads go to. Or if you've been really good and saved them to a Design Bundles folder, you might have put them in there. I copied across most of mine the other day, and then I went and downloaded a load more.
Yeah.
I haven't done my thumbnails though, that's my next job. So if you need to know how to do thumbnails for your files, just ask Ian and Ian will tell you. He's going to plead the I don't know.
Get it now, she'd saved it somewhere else.
Okay, so when you're happy, you do have an options button, but it doesn't do very much in a Mac. So it's not going to give you file opening options like you'd expect it to. So we can go to Open. Just going to think about it. And there we go. So because it's a PNG file, that means it has a transparent background. So that means not only is it brought it in a image file, if we drop down the group, it's also automatically done our cut line for us. So I did a little cheer when it did that the first time. Makes life so much easier.
Julie says yes, need to know that. The thumbnail.
Okay.
The PC's a pain, isn't it? Because it's finding the software that...
Yeah. Okay. So, with that file now in place, you're going to want to make sure that you have it selected as a group at all times, so that when you click and drag, it's going to move it as a whole. Okay, so just move it a little bit to start with, just check that everything moves together. So then you know that you've selected your group. Now, as I was saying before, when we do print and
Can you
cut...
just remind them how to get the printer page up, please?
Okay, so in your document window, so top of the list, you're going to go down there to your show print margins and make sure it's ticked. So as I said before, if you've got a Brother A3 like we used to have, your print areas are going to be quite big.
Matt asked, how did you show the other layer?
Okay, so there's a little triangle that's next to your group icon here. If you click that, it's going to make the insides of that group drop down so you can see everything that's inside. So think of groups as like a little folder that keeps all your bits together.
Okay, can you start again, because we've got all sorts of things going wrong all over the place by the looks of it. Because Evander says I only have one layer, and that's the roof itself. Josie says hers has a red line moving separately.
Okay, if the red line's moving separately, what that means is if you look in your layer palette, it will look like that.
Ah, June sorted.
Okay, you need it to look like that.
Now. Yep.
If need be, if it's separated, delete it and go back and import it. So hit backspace, so it all goes. File, import, and you can bring in the same file again. So it's already going to be in the right folder, so you can just bring it back in. We'll have another think about it while it does its trace.
And that's which one did you open? So it was in frames, and it was frame 1, was it?
Yeah, number 1.
Number 1. Yeah, I just clicked on folder side of the image in layers. It has a G on it. Yeah, which is your group. Yeah.
Okay, so long as that group is selected, we can move it. So I'm going to move it up here. So it's just within my printable area. And then we can use our bottom right little handle with the 2 crossy arrows to resize. We're going to, while we've still got that mouse button pressed down, press and hold shift so that we can keep it in proportion, and make sure that that image is well within your printable area.
Oh, so we're having problems finding us. Okay. I'll take them. And Josie said, sorry, I can't seem to group them.
They come in grouped already. So they should already come in. It should look like that when it first comes in. So you just got one PNG and it says it's a group because this little icon next to it. You've got a little triangle pointing to it, and when you click that triangle, it's going to drop down and you can see inside that folder. Okay, so at the moment we can see that if we look in our position and size, it's at 7.5 inches. So as
the red line acting separately.
Right, make sure that all your layers are blue.
Oh, green.
Hmm?
Green.
No, blue. This bit blue.
Oh, right, yeah, okay.
that shows you what's selected. So if it's only got the one layer selected like this, that means it's only going to move that one layer. So if I do that, look, you can see it's going to, oh, it's not going to do it on me now. It means that you're only going to have that one layer moving. You want to make sure that you're moving all of it.
Yes, my layers look like yours now. But I can move either the outline of the roof, not both together. So you need to pick up the top one.
Yeah, you need to click right at the top in the little folder so that you've got
They are
all
blue, but where yours is green, mine is red.
This bit doesn't matter. It's there as like a reference. So when you get to the point where you have a file with hundreds of objects in, the colour is there so that you can identify easily on the map which one it is that you're working on, is the idea.
Yours was red first time, I think, because you took it out and put it back in, it changed colour.
Yeah, so each time you bring in something new, it's going to change that layer colour. Shall I go for a nice 6x6 card? Take it down a bit more.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if Sarah Lou's found us or not, because she's struggling.
So I'm going to take my reef down to 5.5. So we'll just wait for Sarah Lou to get in the group so that we don't rush off too far ahead.
Dev's just asked, does it automatically do a cut line on all images?
It does it on all PNGs with a transparent background, as I've found so far. With other images you may have to see if it can. But definitely with all PNGs. So PNG is my new file format favourite. So just because my screen's a bit small, I'm just going to put a stroke on my cut so you can see it a bit clearer. There we go. Let's colour it something really obvious. A bit more red than that. There you go. So we have a print file and we have a cut line.
Aha! There you go, she's in. Okay, Sarah Lou is in now.
Okay, cool. So,
just tell her what you've done quick.
Very quickly, Sarah Lou, I went to File, Import, went to our Olives folder, went into Frames, and imported number 1, which is the one that looks like this one. And that's come in with the cut line and the print as a group. Like so. I've applied a colour to the stroke just so everybody can see that clearly when it's a bit smaller.
No notification again. No, I don't know if I saw a notification go out this time.
No, I didn't.
I don't know if it's Facebook, if it's... I don't know.
It's driving me up the wall with notifications because the amount of viewers it must be. Yeah. Yeah, not getting them for Leslie, not getting them for Lou either most of the time.
Even Barbara's the other day didn't notify. Well,
very annoying.
Friday, I think.
Okay, so if we go to Style, which is the little spanner, we can see that our cut line is set to cut and our print and cut is set to print and cut print. So hopefully all good so far. Now, obviously, when we're doing print and cut, we're not going to necessarily want to print all the items. So if you want to do things at some different card, I'm going to show you how to do that next. Just let me know when you're ready for me to go ahead. Hmm?
Never mind, my mouse was moving around on the screen.
Oh dear.
Got a thumbs up from Deb. Sorry, what is that cut line type?
Okay, so when you go to cut, go to your spanner. Cut line type is going to be cut when you're on your cut layer, and when you go to your print layer, it's going to be print and cut print. And that's how it automatically comes in.
Josie, can you show us your spanner tab again, please? No.
Yep, just did.
Yeah.
One of those 30-second delay things, isn't it?
Yeah, because it hasn't got to the other one. There you go.
Okay, so I'm going to go to a new page, and we can give that name of gold card.
Got a Y off, and my cut's now showing on layers. Yeah, that's right.
So with my gold card, I'm going to set it to a goldy colour. So that should be really obviously gold.
There it is, so she's caught up.
Okay, so hopefully you've now got 2 pages. One of which is called gold card with a gold colour in it. And just let you know when you've got that far.
Anne says, where is the gold colour?
So when you go to a new page, you click on your colour. Okay, so this box just here, and then you can use your slider to go up towards your orange yellows, and then just pick a kind of goldy tone just by dragging that little circle, or you can just click around.
Thumbs up from you.
Then go OK, and you can go OK again. So out of my gold card, I'm going to create a layer that's going to go above this one, so that I can do like a layered card. So it's going to be going up towards the middle.
Okay, so Joe says ignore me picking the colour. Sam says my page hasn't showed up but the colour on the mat. Clement says thumbs up.
Okay.
Deb says I did the gold but the page is still white.
If the page is still white, you just need to make sure that you tick the show page colour on the document tab. So that's the little sheet up on the top right, then down and tick the little tick box.
Okay. There we go, Yes, that obviously answers the question everybody's asking me. What happened?
Okay. So now I'm going to go to my little shape tool and I'm going to select circle. So to do that, you're going to click and hold on the rectangle tool. You're going to go, so keep the mouse button pressed. As you go over to the circle, you can let go and it's going to change to the circle.
Yeah, it's done.
Press and hold shift and we're going to draw a circle. So don't worry about the size of the circle at this time, just worry about making sure that circle is a circle. So as you've dragged it out enough to make it a circle, you're going to let go of your mouse first and then your keyboard. So by pressing and holding shift, we're making sure that we keep it as a circle rather than an oval. And by letting go of the mouse first, again, you're not allowing that option of it pinging back at being a circle.
Oh wow, my gold looks green.
Okay, so I'm just going to position this circle over the top of my reef. And it's going to look like it's blocking most of it out. I'm going to resize it down a little bit. That's going a bit too much, but there we go. Let's go back that way. A little bit more.
Where it resizes from.
Let's have a look, shall we? If we change it to centre. No. A lot of software does, so it's worth asking. Okay, so once you're happy with how that circle is interacting with your reef, then we have a size guide that we can work with. So we can cut that using Control and X or Command and X. And then we can go to our gold card and we can paste it in. So that's Command and V or Control and V.
I'm failing with a circle, can't get a circle. Are you sure how to get a circle again?
Okay, so to do the circle again.
Because again, people with dotted boxes and no shapes will come.
Okay, the shape is there in all likelihood, it just hasn't got a colour to it. So I'll go from the beginning of drawing the circle. So let's say your rectangle tool selected, you're going to click and hold and down to circle, let go of your mouse. So then it's changed to ellipse tool in here. You're going to press and hold shift, click the left mouse button and drag, let go of the mouse button, then let go of the keyboard. That way you know it's a circle. Okay. Then in your fill and stroke, if you can't see the shape, you can just go to colour, because it probably says none, and it's going to put in a default colour. And you can do the same for the stroke. So then you can see your circle. So if you can all let me know when you have a circle that fits your reef on your mat. So you're aiming for it to be just slightly bigger than this circle in the middle here. So the idea being when we assemble our card, we can use some 3D foam and we can layer it all up nicely. You can even do a little bit of embossing on your reef if you want to give it a bit of shape.
Carol says yes. June says thumbs up. See what everybody else says. That was a thumbs up off. I've got a circle, something went right. Joanne says circle for reef done. I keep forgetting to I keep forgetting to back to the pointer and then muck up my shape.
Yeah, it's one of those things you just get used to it.
Julia says okay.
Okay.
Multitude of sins going up there, not sure which ones are which. Corinne and Pam give us thumbs up. Sarah says good here. Pam says sorted. Yep. Cool.
Brilliant.
Claire says yep, thumbs up. Yep, so.
All good.
Pam says good. Yep.
Okay.
Deb says circle. Thumbs up.
Okay, so I'm going to start by doing a duplicate of the shape that I want to work with. So this is a good way of practicing doing this duplicate.
Can you revisit shaping the circle to fit the centre?
Okay. Okay. If I go back to page 1, I'll just paste my circle back in.
Still see my wreath.
Okay. So on page 1, where you've drawn your circle, you can resize your circle so you've got a nice border around the outside. So I'm just going to nudge this over slightly, I think. There we go. It's going to be well behaved. And down a little bit. Okay, so if you hover over the top, you're going to be able to see a little preview of that layer below. So you want it so that you can see like a rim of your new circle around where the aperture is in that layer underneath. And that just means that when you do your 3D layering, you're going to get a nice neat finish. You're then going to cut it, so you're going to go Command X, and then you can go to your gold card and Command and V. Now, just because I've got 2 in here, I'm just going to delete the one underneath. So there's the new one I've just done. So we're going to select that shape, and we're going to go to duplicate. Now I only need one other copy, so I can just do 2 columns, and the spacing isn't important for this one, so we can just go OK. So you can see now we have 2 circles that are the same size.
Amanda says she's 2 or 3 minutes behind, but she's catching up. Okay.
Okay. If you want me to slow down, just let me know. Shall I wait there for a minute? So if everybody can let me know when you got your 2 circles on your gold mat.
Where is duplicate, please?
So it's under Edit. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's under Object. It's under Edit and everything else.
And my duplicate is greyed out. Make sure you got something selected.
Yeah, make sure you have the object selected that you want to duplicate. So use your little arrow tool so that you've got your handles, 8 handles, not 4 handles. Oh dear. And then you can go to Object and Duplicate. When you do that, it's going to come up with a little pop-up, and you're just going to go to 2 columns, and the spacing isn't important.
Got it selected, but it's still greyed.
Okay, if it's still greyed, click off it and click back on it and try again, just in case it's having a...
No, no, it's okay. No, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. If it's glitching, don't worry. Just click off and click back on, and it might sort itself out.
Okay. Julia asked, how do you get the handles on the shape like yours? That could be the advanced settings on the.
Yeah. So in the handles here, you can see at the moment it's selected to basic. You can set it to advanced. So if what you've got looks like these, that says it's advanced. So we get set it to basic. I thought basic's quite good at when you're working on a screen if you're watching on an iPad, because at least you can really see which one I have selected.
Perhaps I've got it duplicated on first page, not gold.
Okay, in which case then select your 2 circles. So use shift and then select your second circle. Then you can do Command X or Control and X if you're on a PC to cut, and then you can move to gold and paste.
And Julia says thank you, I'm so basic with a happy face.
No, it's not being basic, is it? It's learning.
Vanessa says, I've just duplicated the circle on gold map, thanks. Okay, and Pam says now sorted.
Okay, cool. So with the second circle, we are going to shrink it down. So I'm going to take mine down to a little bit more than that. Allow myself plenty to glue. Yeah.
Debs, I do okay on duplicate but no duplicate.
So when you do your duplicate, make sure that you put either your column or your row to 2. If you leave it at 1 and 1, it's only going to leave 1 behind. So you can either decide to duplicate it to the side or underneath. The choice is yours. Doesn't really make any difference for this project. Or down to your preference. But if you do make the mistake of just putting 1 and 1, all it will do is it will just leave that copy on the mat.
That's weird, isn't it? You have to change it like that rather than just.
Yeah. I mean, it's handy in some ways. So if you want to fill like your map with a load of squares, you can just say, well, this many columns and not many rows.
That is okay. Yeah, great.
Okay. So we're going to click and drag over the top of our 2 circles. So our handles now stretch around both circles. We're going to go and change our to page to selection.
Yeah, Vanda's called up, she's live now. Chat with her.
Okay, so once you've done your 2 selection, you can then go centre and centre. And it's going to look like you've only got 1 circle, but they're both there. So if I go and give this one a different colour, just so you can see that it's sitting there, like so. So our smaller circle is on top and bright red, and a larger circle is underneath it. So now I'm going to click and drag. So I've got both circles selected. Then I'm going to go to path. and I want the back shape minus the front shape. So fingers crossed this will be nice and sensible. Yay!
That says missed from when you selected both items. Could you rerun?
Okay. So I'll go back a bit.
Yeah.
There. So click and drag over the top so you've got your handles going around both circles. Go to position and size, which is your 4-way arrow here. Make sure your little drop down at the right says to selection and not to page. Go centre and middle. Going to go to fill and stroke. Select just the top circle. So just this top circle is blue. I'm going to go to colour and I'm going to drop in a different colour so you can see that there are 2 circles there.
Corinne says she prefers to use the toolbar at the top of the screen. So, but you can still do it that way, can't you?
Yeah, whichever way you want to do it. Then we're going to click and drag over the top so both circles are selected. Then we can go to path and back minus the front. And you should end up with a circle with a hole in the middle.
Yeah, and so she's got it now.
Okay, so everybody sorted?
Says, can you do that again to get the hole?
Okay. So you've got your 2 circles highlighted and blue. You're going to go to path and back minus front. So we're taking that front shape, the smaller red circle, away from the bigger grey circle so that you get a frame.
It's like a punch tool, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So if you wanted to do a simple shaker card at this point, you could do. So you could just cut another of the larger circles from some acetate and create a shaker card.
Anne says it's greyed out.
Right, make sure that you have both circles selected. So if I undo again. So as long as you have those 2 circles that are blue, then you can go to path and back minus front. If we were to go back into path now, because there's only one shape, you can see that we can't do any of these items. So that's your first kind of alert that you haven't selected everything you need to.
Can't get them both to be blue. If you press and hold shift when you click on them in the layers panel, it should make them both blue.
Or just click and drag over the top actually on your mat. So if I undo, if I click off them so you can see they're both grey, I'm just going to click and drag so you can see the little marquee over the top, and it's going to select both. And then you can go to path and back minus front.
That's a lost sound. The click and drag isn't working to make them blue. Camera stage but review watches. My circles are not separatable, so
Okay, why would click and drag not work?
Sarah says sounds okay there.
We accidentally knocked the mute button. So as long as you click, when I say click and drag, what I mean is you click and hold that button down as you drag your mouse. So make sure that you're getting that blue marquee around.
Actually locked it, that's why.
Ah, yes. I haven't got that far yet.
I'd locked it. No idea how. That's alright.
That's okay, we haven't got to locking it yet. So. Okay.
And sound's come back now as well for Josie. She doesn't know why, but
come on, brain. What should we go for in the centre of our circle?
a foiled flower.
No. It's a hole. You're going to be adding something to it. Needs a word. And hello is so boring because I've done that already. Success. Is that what everybody says when we get to the end? Success!
Yes, I'm seeing your comments, Sarah. I did read it, and I said to Matt, this is a stage where rewatch my circle are not centred, but at least I have done the process.
Okay, if the circle's not centred, then you just need to go back to your positioning. Make sure it says to selection and centre and middle. So these two buttons here. So this one is centre and that one's middle. Okay, then you can do your subtraction. So I'm not sure about the font for this success, so I'm going to change that to something else, I think. You want something that's going to be fairly simple to cut. And ideally overlapping a little. Let's go for that one. So I'm just going to change my tracking so that it overlaps slightly. And then we can move our word so that it overlaps our circle. Now my advice at this point would be, whenever you're working with text, make your life a little bit easier and do a duplicate at this point. Even if you don't think you're going to use it, you can use that duplicate to keep as a reference for the font or to use for another layer so that you've got something to build up on. Whereas if you weld it and then need to come back, you have to then hope that you can get it to the same size.
Or use a second layer so you build it up on top.
Yeah, so it's basically there to save you having that issue of needing to then work out and do a lot of guesswork. So let us know when you have your word and it's overlapping. Everybody okay?
You said, are your letters touching that?
Yes.
Josie asked, how did you get your letters to overlap?
Okay, so with your text, make sure it's selected. And I'm going to use my little handy one here. Your tracking is how you're going to alter how much space or lack of it there is between each character. So the tracking just here. So you can see I've got mine set to 90. I think in some places that's being a bit hopeful, but we'll see how we go. So it will vary by font as to how much you need to alter that tracking. It does, doesn't it?
Joanne says okay. Deb says not yet.
Okay. Take your time, just have a little play so that you can get your word exactly how you want it. And just make sure that you keep that duplicate in case we need it. So when you're doing things like creating frames, you can also use duplicate to keep an extra copy of like your inner frame and your outer frame separate. So that if you want to cut a bit of acetate to go behind, you can use your laser circle. Or if you want to cut some foam tape, so like you can get the double-sided adhesive sheets that you can cut with your scan and cut, or insert your branded cutter here, as long as it has enough clearance. Everything right?
Yeah, I think Julia says she can't find a suitable font. Which
Oh.
one are you using? Bubble Boy, is it?
Bubble Boy, yes, but I don't think you can probably get that one because that's one out of my archives. That's one that we found on the disc that was from like yonks ago.
20 years ago.
Yeah. One of the advantages of doing what I do for so long is I have archives that are like scary. Anything that is heavy will do. So if it has black at the end of the name, that's usually a good indicator. Or bold. Or heavy is another one that they use quite often. Extra bold. So something like that would do. Choda if you have it.
Deb says Arial bold italic is good.
Yeah.
Sarah Lou says she's using Casual Chance.
Oh. Well, does that one look like? That sounds funky. Don't think I've got that one.
Just avoid Comic Sans. June says Helvetica bold. Anne's using Copper Black. So.
I do like a good copper plate.
Okay,
Century Gothic would be good with the bold as well. Nice, simple.
Julia's found.
Cool. Okay.
Going back to the board, you could melt and mold, couldn't you?
You could get it from melt to mould if you wanted to, yeah. Oh dear. Right. So, now we need to weld that text to the frame. So we're going to click and drag over the top. So we just have our frame, if it's going to behave, which it's not. Let's try that one again. There we go. So if ever it glitches like that, just press and hold shift and then click on the ones that you want to keep in that selection. So as long as it's blue, it's active, and if it's grey, it's inactive. We're going to go to Path and Union.
That was quick.
It was, wasn't it? No thinking about it, just splat. Now you want to check that path before you go too much further. So to do that, I'm going to give it a different colour stroke. Make it boldly different. And then we can actually zoom in. So we're going to use our zoom tool, which is just down the bottom on the left hand side. and we're going to click and drag over the top and let go, and it's going to zoom in. So you can see our C's and our E is welded, but our S's are being panes, and there's also a little bit of gap between the U and the C. So there's a couple of ways that we could fix this. We could go to the trouble of doing a plaster, as I would call it, where you can weld another shape over the top to form a join. But who really wants to spend their time doing that when there's much easier ways of doing it?
Anne says she's got a problem with the blue again. With not selecting everything.
Okay, so just press and hold shift and select the layer. So with shift, right, let's get back to my little arrow tool. So press and hold shift, and then you click on the layer and it's going to turn blue. And if you keep pressing and holding shift and keep clicking, you can turn them on and off. That will.
It's like you missed as well. Between the U and the C.
Yeah. But it's not going to matter in a minute.
Okay, Emery says okay. Corinne's having problems with the undo tool.
With the undo tool?
Try Control and Z.
Yeah.
Use the keyboard shortcut instead of using the or file and edit and undo. Sorry, I would have thought it was the other place.
Yeah. Anybody think I didn't sleep last night?
You did. And this morning.
Mm-mm.
Thumbs up from Deb.
Okay. So with our stroke, if it hasn't quite joined up, I'm going to increase my stroke so it's going to be bigger. And then I'm going to find, in a minute, because I can't see it for looking.
How did you get red line round it?
Okay, red line is just the stroke, so just change the colour to red. And then the width here, you're going to increase that.
The only thing I can suggest is restart the software if neither undo or Control Z are working for you. Both Corinne and Claire are having trouble with undo.
Okay.
So just give us a...
Tell you what I'll do in a minute, then once I've done this next step, I'll save a copy and then you can pop it up on the group like you did last time. Yeah? Okay.
In terms of we'll delete it.
It's okay, right, I can upload and you can pull it back down. So, path. I'm going to go stroke to path, so that's going to turn that outline into a shape in its own right. So we now have a stroke and the shape. We're going to select both. And then we can
You can't get a red line.
weld the two together. I can't show it again at the moment. So let's go union. Okay. So now,
Yeah, you can. Show how to get the red line again.
just so you can see again, you're going to go where it says stroke, go colour, and then you can change your colour in there. So if you want to write green, orange, makes no difference. You then have the width that you can change. So however much width you need to get that shape to overlap.
It's up in the artist palette up the top, Julia.
Yeah, I'll just put it on the right hand side.
It's at the top in you. Sorry, Evander, not Julie.
Poor Julie's going, what am I doing wrong?
No, Julie.
Okay.
Carol said she picked the wrong phone, but she said she'll do her usual. Watch it back and do it again.
Okay. I'm just going to start a new folder in Dropbox for you, Ian, so you can find it nice and easily.
Okay.
So, SCAL, workshop, and cut design. Okay.
Julie says, got it now, thanks, but so behind. So you want me to put it up in the group?
Yes, please. So if anybody wants to go and pick up the file so that you can get up to this point, you can do.
Give me 2 seconds to put it in. I've got a few more layers in you, but looks okay on the map.
Okay, so long as your grey area is all one shape and it's all got nice joins in here and in your S's, which is where mine were being particularly annoying. I'm going to pop that one up there.
Yeah, you persevered and done it.
Yay!
And answer's looking good.
Cool, cool. So we now got a nice simple card design with a sentiment. So if you want to stop there at the moment, you can give yourself a pat on the back because you still got a nice card design.
And Sarah used love. So the file's just been uploaded onto the group, so if anybody does want that file, they can go and pull that down.
Okay, so I've gone back to my first page where our print element is.
Do you use union on the spare word?
No. No. The spare word is there as a reference at the moment, so it can just stay as is. So that way if you need to change the text, so if you're doing an order for somebody else and they say, I don't like that word anymore, then you've got a reference to go back to. So same with the circles, you could duplicate those and have those as a step back point.
Deb says my grey is one shape and I have red outline as another shape.
Okay, so you just need to weld those two together.
Unite.
Union.
Union.
Every single program calls all these functions, although they are exactly the same, something totally different.
They're a pain in the
So,
butt.
weld, merge, add, unite and union all do exactly the same thing. They all take it and go...
Stick it together.
Yeah.
They should just call it glue.
Yeah. Make one. Or as I say, splat. Okay, so I'm thinking it would be quite nice if we did a little bit of foiling on this, wouldn't it? Should we do that?
Yeah, we're not going to do it today, are we? So it'll be Monday's card, won't it?
Oh yeah, it'll be Monday's card to actually put together. Hey, that's Monday and Tuesday's video sorted. Yay. So I'm going to zoom in so we can see this a little bit clearer so you can see what I'm doing. Because I'm going to use the pen tool.
Okay.
What's that?
So Carol sent me a message and put one on and he said, ignore that, please. Okay.
Okay. So I'm thinking it would be nice to add a bit of detail to this one, wouldn't it? With a bit of foil. Do you think it?
Yeah, go on.
Should we outline the olives or should we do a little bit to the leaves?
Well, you could colour in the olive.
You could, but and then you'd lose the effect, I think.
The olives are more of a challenge.
They are more of a challenge, so all the more reason to
Do the olives.
keep it simple. Keep it simple.
So as my only issue is the roof was on the same page. And Deb says, no, not the pen.
Yeah, the pen tool. So, this is when I want to start a new layer. I'm going to work my layer in
This is
there.
either SCAL or computer thrown a complete paddy, so I think I need to reboot. Okay.
Okay, if you need to, you need to. So I'm just going to click. I'm going to go down a little way and do a click and a drag. Click and a drag. And a click. At this point it's still going to be attached. But if we hit enter, then it's going to finish that line. Now I'm going to make it so that you can see this line a little easier. So let's go orange. As I'm zoomed in, I'm also going to reduce the width on this cut line so you can see it better. So it doesn't look like it's cutting into everything. Okay, so we can work our way around. And all I'm going to do is just follow the centre lines of our leaves.
How do you do a new layer, please?
Okay, new layer, you can just pop a little folder in there and then we can drag things and put them in. Like
And
so.
James says, when I move my cursor, the line disappears. I need to put some line width on it or something, maybe.
Yes, yeah, so make sure that you have your stroke selected with a colour and make sure that you have a width.
You need to press enter to finish your line.
Yeah.
It's not like canvas, so once you finish your line, press enter and that finishes the line.
Okay, so when you get to the end of this line here, if you hit enter, you're going to see that it's going to ping to be in that colour. Okay, so we're going to work our way around. So click and drag to make a curve. Click,
So
enter.
Let me read this one. If Ender asks or says, I've got loads of layers on my frame page and my transparent frame keeps disappearing when I drag, and on the circle on the other page.
Okay, I think what you're trying to say is that it's trying to move something that you don't want to move. So in which case, as you had before, where you've got the little dots, you can actually lock a layer. So I'm going to just click there and it can lock.
Evander, are you on a Mac or a PC? And can you just show where you added a new layer as well, please? Which button you pressed, because Deb missed it.
Okay, so it's this one just here, and it's going to pop up a separate folder. Just going to, so we can click and drag and put elements in there, so that it keeps them all together. So whenever you're working with something like this, where there's going to be lots of little pieces, but that you want to do all the same thing, you can put them into a little folder.
Okay, and to do a screenshot, you need to press
Print screen.
Print screen. Yeah, if you go on the group, there's a copy of the file so far up to the word success. So the only bit that's missing is the bit that Nat's doing now, which you can download.
So when we're using our pen tool, by doing that drag, we're saying that we want a curve. When we just click, it can give us a corner.
Oh, Deb's SCAL's just crashed.
Oh no. So if at any point it does all crash and you lose everything, don't panic, because I will put up copies of this file as we're going along. So you can always just pick up the most recent one.
Save recently.
Yeah, save frequently. So even when we've done a click and a drag, you can still just finish that line there. You don't have to finish on a click.
Again, the file is up. Deb says it was saved, so no problem. That's good. If you haven't got it saved, there is a file up for you if you want the file that Nathan is using at the moment.
So we're going to work our way around.
Do you know if you can do this with a stylus?
Yep. Yeah. The only difference for doing it with a stylus is you're going to use your pencil tool to do this with. So that's just the one just underneath, and then you can do it with your pencil tool. And if it gets a bit wobbly, that's okay. You can just use Simplify, where I showed you before, to just tidy it up. So doing something like tracing these little lines on these leaves is actually telling you so much, teaching you so much more than me going, well, if you click and drag this handle here, it'll do this. Because you'll start to actually get a feel for where those handles go to make that curve. So you can see, if I drag it out a lot, it's going to really curve that line.
And so how are you doing the pen again?
Okay, so it's just click to start the line. So you can then see it's started. We're going to do a click and a drag to do a curve. And you can just click if you want to do a corner. To finish the line, just hit enter. And that's what we call it an open path. There isn't much of a curve to this one, so I'm just going to do a little bit of a bend. And I'm just following what's already in the drawing, so it's not that I'm making up where this line's going. I'm just literally tracing that line. So this can be a really good way of adding detail to pattern paper as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be that you've downloaded an image. So if you want to scan in some paper and do this.
I'm sure they don't. Ante says look like a toddler with a felt tip.
What you have to bear in mind is, even if your lines look really, really thick, it doesn't make any difference to what your pen is going to do when this actually gets to your machine. Okay, so don't get hung up on, oh, it's really big fat lines. Just get that curve to go in the right direction. Because they're just open paths, so it's like no different to if you were drawing with a pen. And this is really good practice for you. So the more files you can find that you can do this with, the better. Because one of the most important things to do when it comes to learning your pen tool is practice. I'm just going to pop the one just in there. And when you're ready, you can use your little scroll bar to scroll across.
It uses mine too, all over the background and everything. My line is out of control.
Okay, just make sure that you're pressing enter when you get to the end of each line. And if anything goes really mad, then do you know what? You've got your node tools to sort it out. So let's say I'm looking at this line and I'm thinking, but that's not right, because you can see that line's got a bit more of a line here. If we go to our node tool, we can actually work with our node directly, so we don't have to recreate a line from scratch. We can move it around, we can put it over there, we can put it over there, we can go crazy with it down here, and then we can just ping it back there.
Okay. Can you just show the how to put the A4 page back up quickly?
Okay, so if I zoom out, because at the moment you won't see it. Okay, so document, and then it's show print margin, so if I turn that one off, you can just see it's going to pop up a little black line around. And I'll zoom back in and do the next bit. So if you press P, it's a really quick way of getting back to your pen tool. So I love my keyboard shortcuts. I tend to use them more than I use the interface. For starters, it saves on the RSI. So I'm just going to go around here, a bit down there. And if you wanted to do round the olives in a different colour, you could do.
Yours is out of mine straight lines for now. The curve is rewatch thing. Comes with practice though, doesn't it?
Yes.
It's the same as anything. The more you
practice it, the easier it gets. So I'm used to now placing nodes and going, well, actually, that's a 2-node curve, that's a 3-node curve. 4 is usually pushing it.
4 is square.
Yep. We're going to go back there, I think. And then another little curve just there.
It's fine.
Probably. Where did you think I missed one?
Like the olive.
That one.
And the one next to it, upright. Can't see the gold one. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Technically that one there too.
And that one. And the two little bits just underneath that one.
I'm going to get you doing this in a minute. Okay, so I'm nearly there. Doesn't have to be perfect. So, I'm going to do a save. So, Ian, do you want to upload that, or do you want me to do a save as?
And do a save as, because otherwise it overrides what I've already got, doesn't it? And
There you go, V2.
V2.
So with all of these paths, I'm then going to take them and drop them in. So this is my only real annoying downside part of SCAL, is that you can't just do a shift and a click and go from one end of the layer palette to the other. You have to do all the layers in between. So let's just drag those in there. And if I've missed a few, which I probably have,
Olive leaves.
let's start at the top and work my way down. Dee 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 dee. Dee dee dee. Dee dee dee.
It'll be up on the group in a moment, just waiting for it to upload, because my computer's a bit slow.
Okay, so now we've got all of our foiling paths into one folder.
There you go, Cloud Design version 2, and it's up on the group. If you want the one that has its field. Deborah's only done about 5 leaves. Where's your save file?
It is practice, so I can't stress enough how much practice will make a difference to your speed. So as you get more and more used to it, you're going to get quicker and quicker and quicker. So even if now you're looking at something and thinking, I could never do that, it's going to take too long, you can. It's just practice. Okay, so I've got all my paths in a folder, and I'm going to set that to draw. So that means that when we send it to FCM, it's going to save that as a draw layer rather than a cut.
No, you'll have to do it onto your computer at some point.
What's that?
Sally's saying it won't let her have the files onto her iPhone.
No. So just because we got to another step, and because it takes his computer so long, I'm just going to go to version 3 so that you can upload another one.
I've done that one. Karen asked, where did you put all the layers?
Okay, so all the individual little paths are in a folder, so that's using this button down here, and just drag them inside. Then you can select the folder and you can set them all to draw. So I can actually then rename that if I want to, so that I can go foiling, and I know when I come back to it that I'm going to foil that.
Deb says my layers won't go into a folder. Can you show putting in a folder again? Can't move mine.
Okay, So I'm just going to lock this one and let's hide everything else for a minute and zoom out. So I'm just going to draw some shapes on my mat. So everybody else that's watching, you don't need to do this bit. So there's my shapes. I'm going to add a folder, so add a layer folder just down here, and it's going to pop in a folder. You can see we're going to say folder on it. If we then press and hold shift and highlight the 3 shapes that we want to put in our folder, we can then click and drag, and we're going to go and hover so it's above folder, and you can see that I've got a bolder line just underneath with a little dot, and that says that it's going to go inside. Then when I let go, it's going to go straight to that folder. That way, when I open it up, you can see all those individual shapes still in there. And we can set all of those layers at once. So if you want to have a layer folder that is cut, another one that is draw with an artist sketching pen, another one that has draw with a Sarasa gel pen, then you can set them all to draw at once. So if you want to get really complicated with colouring and you want to actually colour a file, you can do that using your layer folders and break it down. Nice and easy then to just go, right, okay, so FCM for this layer, FCM for that layer, job done.
Gary says, sorry, can you quickly show how you fold the leaves? Just one leaf, please.
Okay.
Find one that you missed.
Find one that I missed. You're cheeky, aren't you?
Me.
Yeah, you.
That's not cheeky.
So I'm going to go zoom back in a bit. There's one I missed. So I'm going to press P for pen, and I'm going to click and drag so that I can follow that curve down that highlight, then hit enter. And this one there, because Ian's going, that one there, click me.
So I don't need to buy the brother foiling kit. No, you most certainly don't need to buy the brother foiling kit, not at all.
No! Get yourself a foil quill instead.
Yeah, or a quickie glue pen and a universal pen holder.
Yeah. Either or. But you do not need the brother foiling kit. So just click and drag for a curve, and click and hit enter.
Not show line. Okay, make sure you've got in your little palette type logo icon on the side, and make sure you've got a stroke turned on.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. So pen colour, and then set your colour. And I've just got it at a width of 1. Because you just want enough of a line to be able to see where you've gone, basically. So we can just go, right, okay, that's going to curve up that way, that one's going to go that way. And with enough practice, it will be as natural to you as it is to me. So don't think I have an amazing skill that nobody can replicate. It's just practice. Then when you're ready and you've got enough of your lines done, you can press and hold shift, and we're going to select those layers, and I'm going to drop it inside my foiling. So there's my foiling folder. If I go to the cut line type, just because I did those few extras, and just make sure it says draw.
So it gives you the option to set them to draw.
Yep, so you can cut, draw, print and cut, cut, or print and cut, print.
There's no line won't show. Check the width as well.
Yeah, so if I go to my pen tool and go to my palette, so I haven't clicked anything, nothing is active, so that's important. It says nothing active. Make sure that your pen colour is selected in stroke. Give it a colour that you can see easily. Give it a width of 1 and you should be good to go.
Sorted. Pressing wrong buttons.
Okay. So I'm going to save that and call that done. So that's a nice little simple card topper. So I've done that. I've tried to do as much in one project yet. Okay. Let's go for another one. So, new project. You can leave the other one open if you want to. So you can have multiple documents open at once, which you can't do in Canvas. So I'm going to go to File and Import.
Could you just repeat setting cut and draw, please?
Oh.
Set the line.
Okay. I will just go back to the other project. That's why I didn't close it, you see. So you're going to click on your folder. That's going to highlight all those individual paths that are in it. You're going to go to Spanner, to your cut line type and make sure it says draw. And then save it. Shall I very quickly do export before I go on to the next bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if we were to print it at the moment, you'd literally just want to print that print layer rather than all your other layers. So you have the option of turning them off, just so you're absolutely certain that what is printing is what you want to print and nothing else. So we can just use those little eyes and then go to print and print it out. Will registration marks work, do you reckon? Mind you, won't work at all at the moment, the printer's not on.
No.
Okay, so then when you've done that, we can go to File and Export, and if you're doing it for anything other than Scan and Cut, you can send it to SVG if you want to. I'm going to go to Scan and Cut because that's what I have.
Could it get into your USB?
Okay, and card design. Yep, and if you want to, you can send it to USB. I'm going to try and keep it in here just so I can make sure that everything goes in correctly. Where have we got there? So we have our FCM and Mac being Mac. It's going to give you a little preview. Okay, so it's got our reef. So now we need to do our second page. So flick over to our gold card and we can export again. And we can call it gold card. That's because I did it to SVG. So I will talk a little bit about DPI and SVG in a minute. Just because. Okay. So as we just saw, if we go to export an SVG, it's going to come up with DPI. Now, if you are going to be sending that SVG to Canvas, then you need to set it to 96 dpi, and some other software will go to different dpi's. So for instance, as you saw when we were looking earlier at DPI, Illustrator wanted to go to 90 dpi, and also I think I'm right in saying that Cricut is 96. There's a little bit of discussion about that on the Affinity board as to which it is, but most try 96. Design space compatible, bit obvious for what it is on the tin, so if you do need to tick that box, make sure you do. But most of our followers are Scan and Cut based, so if you do have any Cricut specific questions, either wait till the end of the session.
The Scan and Cut can't print. You could draw it, but it can't print.
Why, what's the question?
Why would you send this to a printer? Wouldn't it be printed on the Scan and Cut?
No. The Scan and Cut can cut, and it can draw, and it can foil, but it cannot print. So the idea being that if you want your nice watercolour effect, you need to send it to the printer, and then you get the Scan and Cut to cut out the print, ready for putting on something else. So if you put some nice cardstock in your printer, for instance, and then you can cut it from the card, just so it has that little bit of reinforcement for when it's doing the fine detail. Especially if you're going to 3D it up.
So we would send this to a USB for Scan and Cut stroke Canvas.
Yes.
Or you could send it direct to Canvas, yes. So you could save it and then reopen it in Canvas.
Yeah, if you feel that way inclined.
And then send it over the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. What I would say the difference between the two is if you use the FCM direct from SCAL, it doesn't do any of the little checks and tweaks that Canvas does. So we found that when we're doing things like boxes or anything that has to be 100% accurate, that Canvas actually tweaks the figures, haven't we? So we can't get it to cut accurately exactly where we want it. So if you do it in SCAL instead, all those bits kind of get bypassed, which can be handy. The other thing is, you know, the alert that comes up saying that some objects are too small to be cut. Yeah, that gets skipped too. So something to bear in mind if you're working with something that is particularly tiny, it's not going to do that kind of cleanup for you. Okay, so I'm going to go to my new project now, and I'm going to turn off my print margins because I don't need them for this next bit. So I'm sure we all have an SVG that we can import and play with. So let's do that next. So we're going to go to import, and I'm going to go back to, should I go to my Dropbox? Lots to play with in there. Design bundles, and let's go for,
Yeah, we're going to stick to the ones that...
I didn't put up an SVG though, did I? Oh, it's an empty.
Yeah, it's an empty.
But any SVG will do. Okay, so I'm going to go for some gnome earrings, just because you can. But you could go for anything you like. So if there's a text design that you want to open up, so I'm going to go open, and it's going to think about it, and then it's going to bring it in. So this one's quite a simple one. So if we go and get our node tool, we can see all the nodes in the design. So I wanted something that was a bit more complex and kind of already there. It's a very big earring, I have to say. So if we go on our nodes, we're going to see that we've got handles for each node. So if I zoom in, you can see we've got this little tiny handle here and this big long handle here. So that means we have a nice curve coming out from this side, but then we've got kind of a little notchy bit in there. So what we can actually do is we can actually play with that so that instead of getting too much of a notch, we actually get a bit more of a curve.
And so she doesn't actually have any SVG files.
Oh dear. In which case then, shall we quickly hop on design bundles and get something to play with? Shall we? So I'm going to presume that you've all been on design bundles before, and then I'm thinking, probably not. Okay.
Yeah, because if they all downloaded them on
Well,
this file,
yes, true.
they're on design bundles before.
Right, design bundles. And I'm going to go to the freebies. Let's go for... Let's go for the homeschool. So we're just going to download that one for free. It's going to drop into my downloads folder. Literally kind of launches itself in. It's quite funny.
I'll just go back to that and copy the link and I'll paste it into the group.
Okay. Yep.
If it's working.
Yeah. Copy. Try it out. See if it's copied across.
Does it end with 5NHHWQ?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it should say homeschool like a mother in the little photo.
It does.
Cool. Okay. So we'll open that one. So we can all play on the same one then.
Pam says can't get the nodes to show up. Which button did you select for the nodes?
Okay. So if we import the new file, then I can show you a bit better. And there we go. Homeschool like a mother. And click on the SVG. That's kind of important. Make sure you're clicking on the SVG and not the PNG.
Because it hasn't turned up yet.
Huh? What's that?
So right there saying that
Okay, so I'm going to go open. And it's going to come in George. Let's zoom out a bit. So I've got my arrow tool selected so that I can drag it over. So it's all on the map. That's a good start. And if you put it on a t-shirt, I suppose you might just want it that big.
yeesh, no, it shouldn't take that long to upload.
What's that?
Joseph says it's in watch only mode for now. SCAL shut down, and when I try to get your last file, it's saying an hour to upload.
What?
It shouldn't take that. It only took a couple of minutes on mine, and mine's quite slow.
Yeah, our Big Mac's running on a remote drive, so it's very slow.
And Anne says thanks. I've only used my scanning cup for applicator so far. So.
Oh, right. We're definitely going to get you stretching your legs then. Between card making and t-shirt making, and vinyl is fun. Okay, so once you've got your file in, to get to your nodes, it's the third tool down, and it's the shape tool. Now it's how you get to your nodes. So if we drop down our little arrow here, you can see it's already separated it into two groups for us. So one group being the red and the other group being the black. So hopefully you're all okay now. Yeah. Happy?
I'm not getting anything, no other complaints. So.
Okay, I'm going to ungroup that for a minute actually, just while I'm playing. Just because I want to be able to get to my nodes. So all I've done is just ungroup that black layer just so I can get to the mother. So there's some bits of this, so let's say if we were going to put it on a mug, that would get quite fine. So I want to show you a few tricks.
How do I get my layers to show?
So you just click on the little triangle next to the folder.
And Pam says all good, have nodes now.
Okay. So one way that you can do it is you can actually work directly with the nodes. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit just so you can see a bit better. So there's little tiny bits that I think could be designed a little bit better. So where these handles cross over here, for instance, if it'll let me get to them. That's a very big if at the moment. Misbehaving. Come on. I want to get hold of that handle. Get this one first. There we go. So I'm going to pull that handle back in. And there. So that means that we get a nice smooth transition rather than a little corner point. And you could do the same here. It's just going to look a little bit neater, it's going to cut nicer. So you don't really want your handles crossing if you can help it. It's kind of a lazy way of making a corner, that, by crossing them over. So most part when you're dealing with curves you're going to end up with two handles that are a straight line through. So if you look up at these little illustrations up here, they're going to look something like this one on the end. Now if you come to something like this where you've got two handles but they're at a V, and that's called a cusp node, so kind of like this here, and you can actually manipulate these arms entirely separately. So the idea being that the handle's going to make that come to a point. It's not going to be a straight point as such. So with this one here, if we wanted to, we could still take this handle all the way out here, for instance. So I'm going to take that back there. So with SCAL, unlike other programs, when you are editing your nodes, you're not going to see the results on the fly as such. So there's going to be a little bit of a delay until you release that mouse button. You can just see, then it will update.
Just as I have loads of really big nodes.
Ah, nothing wrong with big nodes. As long as you can see the handles when you click on them. Can be a bit tricky when it's black. Okay. So when you're happy with the flow of your shape and you're thinking, but it still needs a bit of extra reinforcement, then we can always do an offset. So, path, offset path. And this is where your inches versus millimetres is going to come in. So before I do that, I'm just going to change to millimetres because I find that's helpful when I'm doing offset. So now it makes a lot more sense to me than the 3 millimetres. So I can go, okay, maybe not that much.
And says when I move my mouse, the nodes disappear.
When you move your mouse, you haven't actually clicked on and made it active then. Whenever you're not sure about something, if you look in your layers palette, it's a bit difficult to do when we've got the offset on. But if you look in the layers palette and just check what's blue and what's not blue. So, path offset, I've set it to about 2.3, and at the moment inset offset is ticked, and what that means is it's going to go inside, and that isn't what I want. I want it to go outside. Might even just take that down just a touch. Come on, behave. Thank you. To 2. It's going to misbehave now. Come on. 2. Emma. Definitely going to misbehave. Come on. There we go. Everyone?
Yeah, Claire said she's still playing catch up from earlier and can't get her nose to show. I don't know if you can just show that again a minute once you've done the offset.
Okay. So I'm just going to go OK.
And Anne says yes, it's active, but it won't stay active.
Alright, let's go back one. Nudies. So when you have your node tool selected, so that's the third one down, make sure you've got your nodes around your shape. So I see. Okay, it's going to be back to front today. So just make sure that it's staying up when you're clicked on. So you just click on the shape so that your nodes turn up. Then when you click on an individual node, you'll get the handles out. But don't try and like click anywhere kind of off it, because otherwise you'll lose it. But even when you're in the bounding box, it should keep your nodes. Because I'm clicking around in the bounding box, it's okay. So have a little play with your nodes. So I'm going to go back to offset. Just going to go down a little bit because it was a bit too much last time. Okay. Happy with that?
Lots of people nodeless.
Don't understand why though, because
the nodes icon, then move the mouse and they disappear even though it's active. Mine are doing the same today, active then disappear, and that's Sarah Lou.
that's weird.
Pam's also nodeless. They show when I click and disappear as soon as I try to do anything. SCAL's obviously having a bad day for
Mind you, it can't be as bad as the one time we did Canvas, wasn't it? We did a Canvas class and they decided that that day was a really good day to take down Canvas. Yeah, thanks for that. It's weird that I can't replicate it here though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just going to take that out to that side, just so I'm getting rid of the sharp little points, because That can be where your vinyl goes a bit awry. Let's just zoom into that. Just because that can go that way. I can see that handle crossed over. So if your handles cross over, then you'll find that you do like a weird sort of figure of 8 thing.
Corinne says hers don't even show when she clicks the node tool.
Oh, I don't understand it because we're all bringing it in the same way, aren't we? So with that one, it should be a curvy node. That's better. So made it curvy node rather than a cusp node. There we go. So hopefully you've managed to do a little bit of altering, and you've managed to do the offset. So that's.
Deb says weird. My nodes are okay. How odd. And June says I haven't got any nodes now.
Ah, you have. Just you can't see them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nodes are like your building blocks for your paths. So they're there even if you can't see them. It's a bit like saying a wall's got no bricks. But you can see the wall's still there. So then bricks must be there.
Need to look on eBay for nodes. They sell you little electronic diodes, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Mother is highlighted in the layer, but I click on nodes, go to node, to click and move, the nodes disappear again. I'm always playing with nodes and don't understand it.
Okay, so each node has 2 handles, and those handles dictate where that curve's going to go on the way into that node and the way out of that node.
I don't know if I can read that one out.
Okay.
It'll show up on here if I get it.
I just want to try and get the handle. So sometimes you can find that your node is just a little bit too. There we go. And let's go in there. And we'll do it that way.
Oh, she took it out of the group and now she can edit the nodes.
Oh dear. So I'm just going to zoom back out again because now I've voluntarily zoomed into my M and I need to zoom back out. Oh, there we go. Because nobody needs to be that zoomed into.
I knew what you meant, Deb, it was just I couldn't read it out.
He's just being naughty, ignore him.
I might have noticed.
So, I'm just trying to clean that up a little bit so my blade has a little bit of an easier time.
So did you take it out of the group at all?
At the moment it's not grouped apart from that main folder, if that makes sense. So I have a folder that's got the file name, and then I've got the black group that was originally together ungrouped.
That's the way to do it, is move it out of the group and it seems to work. So, how odd. Even though you...
Mine's behaving.
Yeah. Because Sarah just said that she did that and Claire did it as well. So for those on PC,
get yourself a Mac.
No. If you take it out of the group and then you should be able to get to your nodes then.
I don't mean it. I do love my map, but it's
All three of them.
yeah.
Currently, I'm not playing anymore.
Okay.
We leave these up for all eternity. So
Yeah. So
watch it back and
keep trying to play and go back and do the process again. So I've just done an offset path as well, just to strengthen that join a little bit.
maybe said yes, you do.
Once you go back, you never go black.
Jesus, I'm trying to think of something that says I need a Mac. And Anne says my layers look different. Is that why? It could well be. If the layers look different to what we've got here, then yes.
Yeah. So you can just ungroup it.
Because my screen's not connected to you. And so it says a coat keeps you warmer than a Mac.
Oh dear. Don't know. Yeah, Big Mac done have pump out some heat. Scary. Anyway, getting distracted. So we've done offset on a path. So let's put a funky back. Oh.
Can you just show how to take it out of the folder so it's separate? So it's
Okay. So let's take this homeschool group because that's still a group. And let's right click on it. And then if you go down to ungroup, you can see it's going to ungroup it so that you have all the individual letters to play with if you want to. Okay, so I'll undo that again just so I can show you. So right click, ungroup, and you'll see in your layers palette it's all going to unravel. So undo. And this time I'm going to go to Effect and Shadow Layer. And I'm going to set my shadow layer to red. Means we've already got that red in our design. So we'll go OK. Doesn't matter if it's not exactly the same shade of red.
Does it have an eyedropper type?
No. It looks like it's a Windows colour picker rather than the Mac one as well. You can do it by hex colour if you're feeling really web safe, and it does do CMYK if you're desperate.
So yeah, now she's ungrouped, the nodes work. And Evander says I have them finally, so confused with layers still. I think I need a lesson just on those one.
Okay, layers, think of them like containers. So imagine if you were to die cut your HOMESCHOOL, you'd want to put those letters somewhere in a container to keep them together until you were ready to
use them.
Do something with them. So that container is your layer or your group, and you can have multiple groups in a layer. So if you had little Ziploc bags for each word, then that could be your group, and then you might put them in a lock and lock. Other brands are available to stick all your little Ziploc bags into to keep the design as a whole.
Yeah, ungrouping seems to have worked for everybody to get the nodes back. So.
Okay, so if you go for your homeschool now, and we've gone to Effects and Shadow Layer, change the colour, and then we can add an outline. So this will actually go totally underneath that black, so that you can do a layered design. You can even set it to a print and cut outline if you want to. But for the most part, we're going to do this in vinyl. So if we increase our size, you can see it's going to go mad, and you can do a big shadow there. Or you can just do it as a nice little one. Let's go that big. And we can do the same to our mother. So effects, shadow there. And we can set that to red too. And we can change the size there. Now it doesn't remember your settings when you're doing this between objects. So if you want to have something that is consistent, it's a good idea to just make a little note. So that's the really quick way of just adding a offset layer underneath. So you don't have to worry about duplicating, you don't have to worry about then offsetting it on top. You can just do it through one little dialog box. You can see a preview straight away and you can set the colour.
Tama says, can you do the shadow layer again? She was playing with the nodes, sorry.
That's okay. I'll cancel that again. So you've got your mother selected. Oh dear. And effects, shadow layer, contour cut. We're going to set our colour. So if you set your colour first, it's really easy then to see where you're going. And then you can change your width. So maybe not that big. Okay.
Okay, if you were doing a t-shirt, how would this work? 2 sheets of vinyl?
Yes. Yeah.
So there's a shadow layer on the blue, and sorry, Deb's also asked, is the shadow layer and the black 2 separate designs, like an offset?
Yes. Yep, so if I hide the mother, you can see the red layer underneath it. Okay. And I'll do the same for the homeschool as well, so you can see how that's working. So we can do the same for the like A as well.
Van's struggling still with the node.
So if you want a bit of extra time on the nodes, I can always do that as another little exercise. I think I might get them drawing a flower in a minute, because it's good practice with the flower because you've got both curves and corners. It's one of the reasons why it's a good one to practice.
And Marie says needs skillful ironing then. Well,
no, heat press. Down once, down twice.
Yeah, layer it up before you put it onto the clothing and then...
I'd press the red then press the black, to be honest.
Well, would you?
Yeah. Yeah, because what I will show in a minute is I'm going to make my like A, and it's going to do it so it's just big enough to just catch the red on here. Then I'm going to get my little hearts, and they are pretty much touching anywhere apart from this one. So if I grab that one, and I'm just going to take it right down to the bottom. So now all my red elements are here. So I'm going to select all the red, and I'm going to weld it all together. So that's going to take all that red and go. So when you're weeding, all you've got to worry about getting out is the little bits in here, and the rest of it's all going to be one piece. Then you've got your black elements that are going to go over the top. Now what we'll try very quickly is, let's see if it looks any better with white instead. There you go. Just because that red's a bit dark, let's go white.
You can put it on a black t-shirt.
You can put it on a black t-shirt. Or a nice pink. For Valentine's Day. Hopefully we won't still be homeschooling by then though, because that's just... Mind you, it's only, what, March, isn't it, Mother's Day? So, here in the UK anyway. I know it's different in the States. So, chances are I probably will be homeschooling still by then. So, as I said earlier, just bear in mind with your edges. So, at the moment, it's a little bit close on this edge, but we've got enough of a gap there, so we should be fine. You can also choose to...
HTV or a press thingy. You could do it with just normal vinyl.
Yeah.
And an iron. You don't need a heat press. We don't have a heat press either. We do quite a bit of HTV.
Yeah, if we have to, we just use an encaustic iron.
Yeah.
Because there's no steam. It's got a nice flat plate. Make sure it's a clean one, not one that you've used for wax though. Don't pick up the wrong one if you have to. And then, yeah, make a lovely applique design and decorate it with wax. Yes, did that. Oops.
So that number's gone wrong.
Okay. So we've done a little bit on vinyl. We've done a little bit on the card design.
50 minutes.
Oh, 50 minutes left. Shall we do a nice text design from scratch with a bit of warping, and then we'll do one where we stencil it and one where we rhinestone it. Does that sound fun? So I'll save that first before I go anywhere else. So save project as. And I'm going to put that back in the SCAL folder.
And says can't buy any more gear. Yeah, we're a bit like that.
No more room at the inn. If you are going to do HTV with an iron, we usually do it onto a rather large bathroom tile that we wrap with a white towel.
And Teflon sheet.
And a Teflon sheet over the top of your HTV.
I got thumbs up, sounds good. So yeah.
Okay. So let's go for some text. Go on then, Ian, give me a word. Oh dear. Really should have some little wordy inspirations around my desk.
Believe.
Believe. Okay. Now, because the last thing I created was white, it's going to be white. That's okay. It's there. I can see it's there because it's taken out my dots. So I'm going to go to my colour and I'm going to pop it in black. There we go. Believe.
Going to birthday.
Oh, let's do birthday, shall we? Birthday. And I'm going to change the font because I can. And it's good to practice lots of different things.
Capital B.
It is a capital B, believe it or not. It doesn't.
Font.
Yeah, dodgy font. It's an old one.
What's that?
Eyeballs. Let's go for that one. Nice, classy, detailed. So I've gone for Fairwater Deco, which is a Adobe font. So if you have an Adobe ID and access to Typekit, as it used to be called, then you can get that. It's Adobe fonts now, isn't it? But if not, you can just use anything you like. So we've got a nice birthday. And I'm going to do a little bit of warping with it. So let's go to effects, and this time let's go for bold. Come on, a little bit more curve. And misbehave, isn't it, on this one? Yes, it is nutty. Let's change font, because it's going to misbehave. So if you're finding that yours is misbehaving, just change your font, because it's just naughty. Oh, will it do that one? Let's go big. You're going to go, I recognise that font. Bold.
You haven't really shown it, have you?
No, I have not. Thinking about it. You can't manage it today. Come on, you were doing it earlier.
What are you asking to do?
I'm only asking it to do the curve. And it's gone. No. You want me to do something complex? Comes to something when you have to go. Right, okay. Plain, simple. And if it still doesn't do it, then I'm going to have to restart my shortcuts a lot, I think. It doesn't want to do it today. No. Does not want to do it. See what happens to the best of us. Let's try a bridge and see if it'll do that instead. Not looking promising, to be honest. Oh, I don't know. It's coming. So I'm going to really walk that bottom curve. Up. Hang on. I have a circle of doom.
So who said mine worked?
Yep, and mine's just going, you want me to do what, and stream? I was just checking it was still running. Okay, let's go for OK. And I'm just going to take that up a little bit, so push it this way. So I've got my shape, and I'm going to do it two ways. So let's nice easy way of doing a duplicate.
Alt.
Yeah, press and hold Alt, click and drag the shape.
Oh dear.
What's that? Who crashed?
June said I had to restart mine to sort my node thingy out, and Corinne says I've thrown mine out the window.
Oh dear. It's just a case of patience, isn't it, sometimes? It sorts itself out eventually.
sometime.
Okay, so I'm going to do a couple of versions. So there's the outline one.
What's Alt on the Mac? It's Alt.
It's old. Option, as it would be on some older Mac keyboards.
It's the one that looks like
Yeah, it's the one that looks like it's train tracks diverting onto the other set of points. How would you describe it? Quite an appropriate little. Okay, so the top one is rhinestones with the outline, and I'm going to do, let's do rhinestone, and I'm going to fill the shape.
Makes it illegible.
Does make it legible. Don't like that. I'm going to go back one. Let's try that again, shall we? Rhinestones. Fill the shape. Preview. Now let's see if we can sort out this stone spacing so it looks a little better. Losing it. It's going to be one of those ones, isn't it, where you're going to get it in one place and something else is going to ping out.
And just how did you do the outline, sorry?
Okay, so if I cancel that, so you just go to Effects, Rhinestones, make sure that this one here is unticked, and then go to Preview and you get your outline. Now, if you're looking at that and thinking something's not quite right, you can use your spacing to adjust it to see when you get your best outline. A little bit more, looking a little bit better. There's always one bit, isn't there, that just loses. Because there's that little bit there that I would want one in, and then one there.
On top of the B.
Better?
Yeah.
But as you bring your spacing down, you're going to be using more and more stones, is the other thing to bear in mind. So I think back there, let's see if that one, there, that's what we need. So just adjust your spacing and let the computer work it out instead. There we go, that's better than that first one, isn't it? So there's one way of doing birthday. Let's do our other birthday. So I want to also show you how to do a stencil as well. So I'm going to use the stencil bridge. And let's go for zooming in on this bead to start with. So when we're using the stencil bridge, up in this top section here, you can see how wide that little bridge is going to be. So
Quick question.
Okay.
It is a quick question. Is there a short, what's the letterpress to get back to the arrow? Is it a V still?
Yes.
There you go. V. Deb.
And node is still A. So the only one that varies from that is Inkscape. Because I've been doing all the shortcuts for the book. And Inkscape is a nightmare because none of them match anything else. So V and A will get you to your 2 arrows. P gets to your pen tool. Now that's interesting. N is usually the one for your freestyle, but let's have a look, see what it says. It doesn't have one. But does it tell me on the pen? No, it doesn't tell me on the pen. Let's see if I can guess. So if I go back to the pen, so that way. Also, it doesn't use E for eraser, which is interesting. So So it does your usual ones that you expect it to do.
Where is stencil, please?
So stencil is just towards the bottom. You've got your crop tool, your distort tool, and then your stencil. So you've got your H3 hand tool.
Why have you got a random Y just popped up on this sheet?
Because I typed T first. Z for zoom, which is kind of expected. V for your arrow tool. And everything else just doesn't have one, which is really random. So it's like they've taken some of the shortcuts from other programs and then went, actually no, we shouldn't be doing that. Okay, so with your stencil bridge tool, if you press and hold shift, you're going to constrain it to your vertical, horizontal or diagonal, and when you let go, you see it's going to put this bridge in. Now what you want to go careful with is bits where you've got this going on. So if you undo, you can move along a bit, and we can do it there.
Why does it take a line out rather than...
So the idea being that it's going to cut out the B and leave those centre bits in. So then you're going to do an extra line around the outside that's going to form the outside of your stencil. So now to do the D. Now the easiest way of doing this one is we're going to take it all the way through and out the other side. And because you've got this pointy bit here, this is going to get really tricky, because we want to make sure that we get it so that it's in like that, so that it's nice and attached. So when we zoom out, we're holding in the centre of our D, the centre of the A, and the two centres of the B.
Anne's got to go, but she says thank you so much.
That's okay.
And you'll watch back the rest of it when...
Yeah, so do come back, and if you have any questions, just let us know, because we can always hop back on and do another video in the group. So if there's something particular, like the nodes for instance, that you're struggling with, we can always come back on and just do another little bit on nodes.
So you need to do one for the eye, is the eye separate, or is that weird?
That's going to punch through your shape, okay? So because I can see Ian struggling to grasp the concept, I'm going to pop a rectangle around. Okay, so let's say this is our stencil material, and we've already stamped on it a bit, so it's going to be red. And I'm going to pop it down underneath our text. So here's our little stencil, and at the moment it's all separate text. So I'm going to select that and my stencil, and if I then go and do that, we're going to punch that through. So there's our stencil. So you with me now, Ian? Yeah? So that's why you don't need to do the eye, because the eye is already separate. And then you need to do the holes that are loose in the middle, otherwise they're just going to float around. Okay? So we could add a happy to that. So let's go to our text, and let's add happy.
Character questions? Oh, you know me too well.
So there's happy.
I suppose you can't move the birthday now, can you? Because you've punched it through.
Where would you like me to move it?
Just look, because it's rather close to the top, isn't it? So you can move it down a little bit.
Okay, so
Okay, is it clever enough to move it?
let's see, shall we? If it behaved long enough. No, it's not going to let me do it. Let's see if it let me do it this way.
Could you use the stencil tool
No.
to cut out Myla?
Yes! Definitely.
Or whatever that stuff is that we got from
Amazon.
Amazon.
So I'm just going to do it the easy way. Why move the birthday when you can move the outside of the stencil? If it will behave for these top two nodes. Come on. I want both of those. It's not liking the top nodes on this. But if it wants to do one at a time, I can do it one at a time. So there's our... Let's click on the happy. So let's take it over here. And we can use our top right arrow to rotate it. We can use our bottom right to resize it. And our top left is going to move it. Then we can go back and do our stencil in exactly the same way.
I'm so jealous of your nose.
So we can take that way. If it feels like it, hang on. Now you see it's going to do it for everything. No, 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 no. I don't want to do that. I just want to do it for the happy. Let's try that again. I'm going to have to move my happy to be able to do my stencil. This is just... Right. Happy. Come then. Let's give it a colour so you can see it on the white background.
Purple.
Why purple? It's a stencil, it doesn't matter. Okay. So let's go and drop that in there. And we can drop that in there. And in there. So happy. I can move that back up there. Select that one and that one. And then we can... There we go, back minus front. And you could put a few little... Let's change the colour of that so you can actually see it.
If you use your eraser now rather than using the thingy, would it delete it out like it?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep, you can do that. So eraser. And we
Can you
can do
narrow
a...
the width of your stencil tool? Or is
Yes. It's changed in the top bar. So we can add little streamers if you want to.
Can you just show the narrowing of the stencil?
Okay. I'm just going to go back a few because you can also do it in here too. So you just change the size in the top bar. And we can do the smaller one. You can also change your shape of your tool if you want to. And same with your stencil tool. You've got your stencil bridge size just at the top, like so. And let's drop in a star, shall we? So I'm just going to get a little star. And let's put one there. And one there. And move that down. Move that in a bit. I want to keep it away from the edge, so I'm just going to resize like so. And we can subtract those from the base in the same way. So we're going to go to, if it feels like it, 2 at a time. So back minus front, and we'll do the same again for our other star. Back minus front. So there's part of our stencil, and we can still go back and do nodes if we want to.
She said to Karen, one day we too shall have nodes, I feel it. And Karen replied with, I wish.
You will have nodes, you always have nodes. But one day you'll be able to master them, and they will behave. So I can just smooth out any bits that I'm not happy with, so that it flows nicely. So anywhere where I feel it's a bit pointy, technical term that, I can just go in and go, well, actually, no, I don't want that to be a point. Let's take that out. I'm going to take that one out there too. So you can just use the delete key if you want to. If there's a node that is annoying you, just take it out and get rid of it. There you are. Created a stencil and also a rhinestone design. Let's go for, let's change the font. Actually, let's go for display colors again. It's a little bit more open then. There we go. Let's see if it will let me play. Rhinestones. Preview. Need to adjust that spacing in. And okay, and there's me happy in rhinestones.
Thank you for a lovely weekend. Sally's got to go. You may have to get the special ones from Amazon rather than the ones we have been using from eBay.
What, the nodes?
Yeah, that's what we get for being cheapskates.
the nodes come on Prime delivery, do they? They will be available tomorrow. At some time between 1 and 6.
Specific.
It's funny, that actually tells you nodes have been delivered and they are sitting waiting for you in your craft room. So, hopefully you've now got a few ideas on how you can play with SCAL. Oh, that's not bad for a first day in SCAL, is it? So far we've done a card design, we've done vinyl, we've done rhinestones, and we've done a stencil. So I think you can give yourselves a really big pat on the back.
Can't reach.
You can't reach. So which one of those am I doing Monday then, Ian? Am I putting the card together, or should I go for something a bit different?
Karen said, no, it's not funny. And Karen said, glad you had to go do that. I managed to put in my order. depends, we have Monday off, haven't we?
We can't, can we?
Why?
Because we've got something to show out on Monday. Oh dear, I'm getting blank faces. Oh dear.
Tell me
No. Oh gee. Even when you spell it out to me, he doesn't get it. Okay.
Lou says thank Sarah's Lou. Sarah says thank you very much. We'll be playing forever. Corin says I'm off now to look for my notes. Thank you both, really have learnt loads. And Sarah says nothing new there then. You've got a clue if it's loud. And Josie says bye too.
Okay. So if you need any more help with nodes, just let me know and we can always hop back on and do a video either later today or Monday. Ben Ian's remembered what it is that we're supposed to be doing Monday. Maybe.
Or maybe not.
If you're on tomorrow's course, we'll see you tomorrow. And if you're not, we will either see you Monday or Tuesday.
Pam will see you tomorrow.
Okay, so see you tomorrow, Pam.
And then we got Claire as well, who's not in today.
So we'll have lots more fun tomorrow. Yeah. And hopefully Shortcuts Lot will be a bit more stable next week for you to have a nice play with. And who knows, I might bring it on a class stream if it behaves. And do something with the rhinestone kit. I fancy trying something a bit different with round dots.
Child Play 2 just popped up on you on Netflix notification after you used the font Child's Play.
I can safely say it was not named after the movie. It was actually designed as a font that we could use for a kid's book, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So hence it has the open A's rather than the normal A's that you would expect to see in a font. So, with that, if you have any questions, we will do one-to-ones now. And I'm going to have a daft 5 minutes. So, I will see you when I see you. Take care and bye.